Today's video is an IKEA hack with epoxy resin. You gotta love one of those. Let's go. So on my recent trip to IKEA, I picked up these two vases. They are just simple, clear vases, really inexpensive. And obviously I went in to get something else and then I saw these, and at the time I didn't know what I was gonna do with these, but now I do. I had this idea and literally as soon as I had it, I had to try it out. So the thing about these is that the little one does fit into the bigger one, but at the same time it leaves a nice little gap between the two. So yeah, so we're just going to play with this a bit, see how we get on. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix up some of my J.Diction Officials epoxy resin, which I will link in the description for you. And I've only mixed up a tiny bit because we're going to do this project in layers. And what I'm going to add to this is some sand. Now this is going to be a beach themed vase or an ocean themed vase. So we are starting off with some sand. And why this coastal theme? Well, it's kind of like deceptive spring out here and I'm already in summer. Like mentally, I'm literally on a beach sipping a margarita or a pina colada or something on those lines. But basically what we're going to do is mix up a bunch of sand into this. I've gone for some coarse sand and some fine sand. So just mixed up whatever I had lying around. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this in the big vase. Now with this particular project, I'm not going to fuss about bubbles because I don't quite know how I'm going to tackle bubbles in a project like this. And also, you know, we're going with a beach water themed. So honestly, like if there are bubbles, I'm not fussed. You know, we're going to embrace them. They might actually be a good thing, you know, make it more realistic. So yeah, so I'm just going to pour this down and let it kind of thicken ever so slightly before we do the next step, which is to then put down the smaller vase into the center and push it down into this sandy epoxy resin. So I have eyeballed the center. And once I'm happy with it, I'm just pushing it down, applying some pressure. And because my resin is slightly tacky now, it will stay in place. So I don't have to worry about it floating up top. So yeah, happy with how this is looking. And let me show you on the side what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. And I know you can see a bunch of bubbles on the top over there. But like I said, you know, I'm not too concerned, to be honest. We'll see how we go. But yeah, this is what it looks like at the moment. And I will be back for the next step in a bit. Okay, so my resin, again, is not completely cured, but it is gotten even tackier. So it's been about actually just half an hour, to be honest. And I decided I want to add these little stones in there. Again, I got these off a craft shop that I had, and I actually had these lying around. So I'm going to go ahead, put these in the cup just for ease of dropping them down. And I'm going to drop these along the edge of the vase and kind of like obviously in between the two vases. So I'm thinking this angle might be easier for you to see what I mean. So yeah, that's just me dropping these. Again, you know, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You can add as many, as little. Just have fun with it. And then once my stones are in, I decided to add some large shells. So I picked up a few, randomly going to put these down as well. Once again, just having fun. And can I just say, I already love it. Like I am already feeling sand and beach and shells. Like I am feeling the vibe. Okay, and now I have decided that I want to add some tiny shells. So once again, just filling some gaps with that. And I'm going to let my resin cure now for probably a good couple of hours until it's not fully cured, but it's quite tacky. Okay, so then I've gone ahead and mixed up a considerable amount of epoxy resin. And this time we are gonna go ahead and tint it blue. So that's what I've done. And I'm gonna just once again pour it into a smaller cup just to make sure that I don't end up pouring it into the smaller vase. And I obviously want to pour this into the inside of the two vases. So that's what I'm doing. Now would be a good time to remind you to like, comment and sub if you've enjoyed this video. And also like this whole vase thing, like it just opens up a ton of ideas for me. Like I'm thinking next one could be with some crystals, you know, agate slices, and I don't know, and flowers. Oh my god, flowers. Literally, there is so much that can be done using these really inexpensive IKEA vases. And like I said, I mean, who doesn't love a good IKEA hack? So let me know in the comments, like what else you want me to do with this, or if you are going to try something using this technique. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fill this up almost up to the top of the inner vase and leave it to cure. Now, as you can imagine, I have gone ahead and done a very sort of a deep cast into this. And if you are uncertain, like if you are worried that your resin will heat up, you want to make sure you use a deep cast resin. I'm just using the regular resin from J Diction Officials, because I'm going to leave this in a cool room and let it slow cure. And also, I'm pretty confident that this is not going to flash cure on me because I have worked with this resin and I know how good it is. But if in doubt, always use deep pour for such a larger pour. And are you ready for the reveal? This is what it looks like. Now, we did get quite a few bubbles, and in fact, we got some chunky bubbles. Don't know how, don't know from where. Maybe there was some vacuum created between the two vases, or I honestly don't know. But like I said, because this was an ocean, coastal, beach theme vase, that actually works in my favor, that we have those few floating bubbles. But if I was to do another project like this with these two vases, I might have to consider what I'm going to do about the bubble situation. But love what this looks like. Absolutely love it. I mean, it looks like I filled the thing up with water, doesn't it? Love it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I shall see you next time. Bye.